All right. Well, thank you. So what I'm going to talk about is how we help our customers. Some of you are probably our customers. How we help them transform. First, I'm probably not going to be talking futures of our products, just in case I do. This slide says we reserve the right to change our mind. All right. So first, who we are, Oracle. Technically, I am with Oracle, but I'm with a part of Oracle that's focused on construction and engineering. If you look at Oracle in total, there's about 140,000 employees, somewhere around that. Within Oracle, there are 9 kind of companies within a company. We call them global business units. If you go to Starbucks, Starbucks uses micros terminals as cash registers. Believe it or not, that's an Oracle product. That's one of the GBUs. One of the GBUs is one called Construction and Engineering, which I'm the senior director of. It started with the acquisition of Primavera. How many people are P6 customers here? Yeah, so see, there are customers in this room that are Oracle customers. That's probably 12, 15 years ago when Oracle acquired Primavera. Soon after that, we acquired a product called Skyer, which we turned into Unifier, then Textera, and then most recently, about 2 years ago, we acquired a construction execution operations product called Aconex. Are there any Aconex customers here? Oh, great. If you look at the problem we're solving, we are probably the only company that sells to both owners and builders at the same time. We have products that do the full plan, build, operate life cycle. The challenge that we're trying to deal with there's hundreds of organizations usually in a construction project, or from build straight through to facility management, leading to a lot of silos of information, leading to lack of transparency, and then late projects and over budget projects. Because we're Oracle, we are part of Oracle, we focus pretty much on security. It would be a very bad thing if our products ever got hacked. They are comprehensive and connected. Because we're Oracle, we have a database heritage. We know how to connect things. And then finally, the proven team. They're people like myself in the industry for over 35 years. Primavera, a lot of these products have been in the industry for almost as long, but a proven team that's around. So that is it as far as the marketing slide. Let's talk about transformation. All right, so pretty much the common understanding is that there'll be more change in this industry in the next 5 years than in the last 50 combined. And if you're in this room, probably by the fact that you chose to come here today, you agree with this statement. All right, that has 2 corollaries to that statement. The first one is that organizations that can adopt to that change will win. All right, and then the other side of that corollary is the ones that don't will be bought by the ones that do. All right, now what we wanted to figure out was how do we get our customers and our partners to fall into the first group and not to the second group. All right, and the first thing we wanted to do was figure out what is digital transformation. What's the target? What are we looking to transform to? All right. So rather than describing it, I have a short 3-minute video that'll tell you what our vision, our customer's vision, and our partner's vision is of construction in 2030. What would a construction site look like in the year 2030?
We are in an era of rapid digital innovation. Technological advances are coming together to reshape every aspect of project delivery. And Oracle is focused on helping organizations navigate the accelerating transformation of how and where we work. The worksite of tomorrow isn't confined to a place, it's everywhere. Distance has become irrelevant as 5G connected devices instantaneously access site data, like physical data and depth sensing cameras. BIM data is experienced in virtual reality, augmented reality, and holograms. Autonomous vehicles carry workers to and from job sites, allowing them to work uninterrupted while en route. Work sites themselves are safer and more efficient than ever before. Wearable sensors deliver security and safety by verifying worker identities and training. In the event of an accident, these same sensors alert first responders with the worker's vitals and exact location. Connected and autonomous construction equipment operate alongside crews, performing repetitive and high-risk tasks while tools capture project data. Powered exoskeletons enhance a worker's performance while eliminating injuries. Productivity skyrockets. Sensors continuously collect and benchmark performance data. AI and machine learning algorithms assess risk, schedule tasks, coordinate activities, adjust plans in real time, and report progress to stakeholders. In the Everywhere worksite, meetings are virtual. Workers and stakeholders use visualization tools to ensure everyone is aligned. Technology streamlines entire industries, delivering rapid advances in productivity and quality. New materials are developed using nanotechnology. Embedded sensors enable real-time tracking and monitoring of environmental conditions, reducing cost and risk. Companies offer their customers a selection of digital models that can be prefabricated or 3D printed. A digital twin of the physical asset collects and analyzes data throughout its life cycle. All these connections across the project lifecycle optimize processes and unlock data-driven insights to drive continuous improvement. This future is already taking shape as the digital and physical worlds increasingly blend. Now that you've glimpsed what's to come, it's time to visit your tomorrow today.
So that's our target. It's not just BIM. There's a lot more in it than just BIM. BIM's a piece of it, but it's not the whole thing. I'm not going to go into this slide, but what we also do when we talk to our customers and our partners is we begin to map what should our customers be looking at when, and what tech should they be looking at when, what's too soon. And we go over this. In fact, I was just talking to someone this morning where we need to take another look at this because sometimes tech comes in, tech moves out, moves to later. If you looked at this a year ago, I would have had blockchain in like the 1 to 3 years. But that got moved out because no one's talking about blockchain right now. All right. So this isn't people chasing the shiny object, that all this tech is coming in, is being created. It's not that. There are real industry reasons, there are real drivers to why the change is happening. First, and maybe foremost, is the labor shortage. People from my generation did a very good job getting their children to college, all right, and getting them through college. We did a great job of that, but in the other edge of that is that there are very few people going into the trades. In the state that I'm from, Massachusetts, the average age of a master electrician is well north of 50 years old. All right, that's kind of a scary statistic. So we can't, when you look at the demand, the construction demand, we're not going to be able to address it by just throwing bodies at the problem. Something else has to change. Next, every customer, every company I talk to, they tell me things are getting more complex. All right, it doesn't matter whether it's Bechtel at, well, I don't know what they are, $20-odd billion or whatever they are at Bechtel, or $100 million GC. It's all getting more complex, and that's being driven largely by the owners and also regulation. So again, You can't throw bodies at that problem. All right? Something has to change. Everyone has seen that graphic that puts the tech budgets in this industry below hunting and fishing, which I think is really a lousy graphic. I think that's wrong now. All right? And I think it's wrong because there's a lot of people buying tech on projects. There's a lot of people buying tech behind the back of corporate. All right, there's a lot of money in these organizations going to tech. It's just not consolidated. All right, I think in some organizations it has consolidated. So I don't think that it is a low IT spend. I believe that we spend an awful lot of money on IT. It's just not coordinated. And then finally, the tech is coming. There's a lot of tech coming into this industry, and you look at the startups. The startups are for this industry is just going through the roof. You guys must stop answering your phones. They got so many people calling you, companies you've never heard of before. But there's tons of startups. There's a lot of tech coming in. Now the question is, how do we begin to absorb all of this and figure it out? Not so that it's just on one project, but so that it scales to the enterprise. All right. So what we did was we created what we call the Oracle Industries Lab. All right. It is a mock construction site. It is it is in Deerfield, Illinois. The magic with Deerfield, Illinois is we had the land. That's the only magic with that. It's about 20 minutes outside of O'Hare, without traffic, about 40 with traffic. All right, but what it is, it's a mock construction site where we can bring our partners and ourselves, connect all this tech together, all right, then bring our customers out, and it's a safe place for our customers to understand how all this tech works. All right, and what it does is it allows us to learn from our customers to learn from us. And when I say it's safe, they can make mistakes on our construction site, and there's not going to be a health and safety event, there's not going to be a change order, there's not going to be a lawsuit. All right? So we're Oracle, 140,000 employees. We admit we cannot solve the whole problem by ourselves. All right. So if a 140,000 person organization can't solve it, what hope do other organizations have? These are some of our partners. I'm not going to go into them. You probably know some of them. You probably don't know others. The big takeaway here is it's not just technology. We're partnered with Bosch in Milwaukee. All right, and because of connected tools. How do you, as an organization, take advantage of connected tools? You can come to our innovation lab, and you can begin to understand that. All right, we have Caterpillar at our lab. All right, Verizon, because they're such a big Oracle customer, they agreed to make Deerfield one of the early 5G sites. All right, so we have 5G at the lab. Deerfield doesn't know how lucky they are. A sleepy little suburb of Chicago gets 5G. But these are some of the partners that when you come out, you see our tech, you see our partners' tech, but it's not, it's in a working construction site. So the lab opened August of 2018. Since August of 2018, we've had over 700 people go through those gates. All right. It is a mock construction site. I don't have a laser pointer here, but we have a mini laydown yard. We have basically a steel gazebo. And we actually erected steel there. We have a job site trailer that if you walked in, you would think that you stepped into, the 2030. Now, that was the picture in 2018. If you went to the lab today, that's the picture you would see. All right, we demoed it. And we demoed it because we're in the middle or at the beginning of phase 2 of the lab. Problem with this, there's 2 issues with Chicago. It rains, and it gets pretty darn cold in the wintertime. So when you go outside, we don't want to take customers outside in the snow, in the rain. To do it's not good to get your customers, give your customers pneumonia. So what we're doing, that's a picture of phase 2. Phase 2 is the nicest looking aircraft hangar you've ever seen in your life. It is 42 feet tall. It has essentially the same outdoor, construction site, just that it's indoors, so we don't have to worry about rain or snow. The one nice thing about snow is our laydown yard, all the material are RFID tagged, and we demonstrated the value of RFID tagging last winter when the site was under snow. But other than that, it's not a fun time being out there. All right, the construction area here is all gravel floor. It will change. We have a communications GBU. We have a utilities GBU. We're all partnered now in here. So sometimes we may be putting in a generation substation in here. All right. Sometimes we might be doing something totally different, but it's made to change. People ask me, when's it going to be completed? The answer is never. It's always going to be changing. All right. The tech will always change, and we will always be changing it. Our partners know that just because they're in the lab today doesn't mean they're going to be in the lab tomorrow. They have to keep up with the times as well. All right. In the front part is meeting space. Amphitheaters, meeting rooms. The AV budget for this project is massive, but it is a show place, and of course on the top will all be solar on the roof. When you come to the lab, you do not get demos. All right, you will never receive a demo when you go to the lab. What you will do, I call it EBCOT for construction. All right, what you will do is you'll don a hard hat, reflective vests. Beforehand, you'll have done a survey that will basically highlight what is it that you want to learn when you're at the lab. All right, at that point, once you're there, you will be given a script. And you will be role-playing a day in the life for a particular event. By the time you're done, you have touched all the tech you wanted to touch. All right, and this is not a one-and-done thing. All right, usually what happens is people come and say, we should have brought this other group, or we really need to bring these other people, and people come often. People come multiple times, all right, and they learn. And we learn from them, too. It's not just a one-way street here. We're all trying to figure this out. All right. Anyway, so one of the things we're doing now with phase 2, we had limited, we call them experiences. We had limited experiences because we had limited space. All right, with phase 2, we're working with our partners and our customers to come up with what the other experiences should be, because we'll have essentially as much space as we want. I should also mention that when we went to our CEO for the budget for this, the one question he had, now this is a CEO of Oracle, not of our construction and engineering general business unit. The one question he had was, why so small? All right. So this one is under construction right now. We selected the land for the second one, which will be in Sydney, Australia, And then the third one will be somewhere in either the UK or Europe. So lessons learned. These are some of the partners that we have at the lab. Material tracking. All right, this is a partner of ours, Jovix. Does anyone know who Jovix is? All right, they do materials tracking. That drone has an RFID reader. All right, it flies over a laydown yard and maps the laydown yard. All right, and we think that these guys are connected to us, to our products, so that we can do materials tracking from the supplier to installation. Progress reporting. One of the things we do not do is we do not invest in companies. All right, we will buy them outright, but we won't invest like a venture capitalist. This company was a startup. It had less than $37,000 of lifetime revenue when we made them a partner. But they had technology, AI technology, that you could not believe. What they do is hang a camera from a tower crane. It takes pictures all day. They have figured out how to stitch all those pictures together, map it to the BIM model, connect it to our P6 schedule, and now you can see what's on schedule and what's behind schedule. And they created a drone so that the drone can also kind of maneuver through a building on its own and take pictures. This guy has fallen off that wall, I can't tell you how many times. Connected workers. We have a partner called Triax. By the way, I'm not trying to sell this stuff. These are just people we are partnered with that we think highly of. They have a wearable that can prevent people from going into hazardous areas, and also tracks if there's a fall more than 4 feet, and that's connected. That's connected into our products. So it shows connected worker. Interestingly, when we did phase 1, we wanted everyone to use our partner's tech. When the steel workers came on site to basically erect that steel gazebo, and we asked them to wear the Triax wearable, they said no, that they'd walk off the job site. So there's a little bit of working with unions. If you've ever been in Chicago, you'll know the unions have pretty much owned Chicago. There's a little bit of working with unions, especially on wearables. Now we believe in 2030, we probably won't be using phones or iPads at the job site. We'll be using something like this, a hands-free device. This is a company called RealWear that connects a device to your hard hat that basically will replace a phone. Now you won't do a change order from this. Absolutely won't do a change order from this, but you certainly could do an RFI. Certainly can take pictures because there are cameras. You can't really see them that well in this picture, but there are cameras right on the side of the hard hat. You can certainly take job site photos from there. So why are we doing this? Absolutely, it will help us sell software. I'm not gonna try and BS you about that. But we don't have to spend this kind of money just to sell software. I can tell you that with the amount of money that we're putting into this lab and the amount of time that we're putting into this lab. We don't have to do it. So I'm old enough that I went through the whole ERP craze of this industry. In fact, I was one of the first 3 people to ever implement an ERP in this industry. The other 2 are retired. And that was back in the mid-90s. All right, we all spent millions of dollars on ERP implementations to dubious ROI. All right, I'll never write that down because I'm from Oracle, but to dubious ROI. So think about that. What we did was we implemented a product that was designed to be connected, and there were tons of project failures. Now what we're asking you to do is to take all these different products, connect it all together, because they're not really designed to be connected all together, and try and run the most critical business processes of your operation. All right? I used to joke that if the ERP went down, it would be about a month before anyone cared. Might till the next payroll. To next payroll, no one would care. All right? But if your construction operations system went down, it'd take about 5 minutes. All right? Next, there's a lot of people in my organization that are like me, that have been in this industry for 30+ years, all right, and grew up in this industry, all right. There's a lot of us that are looking back, saying, what are we going to leave? How are we going to help make this organization, this industry better? So the industry stewardship. The other thing is we have 2 venture capital organizations that just invest money in startups in this industry. We have them as, I wouldn't call them partners, as good friends. All right. A couple of years ago, I asked one of them, "Why do you want to talk to us? Because we are not going to ever invest in a company." All right. And what he said, he got it. We're the only ones big enough that can help. We're the only ones that are big enough that will actually do something like this, that will actually build a lab like that that has the wherewithal to pull all these partners together and actually figure it out, help figure it out. Now we haven't cornered the market on the intelligence to figure it out. What we've cornered the market on is being able to bring people to the table to figure it out. And lastly, Oracle. Oracle's big, 140,000 employees. All right, and there's some organizations out there. Someone said they were from Stantec. Some from other organizations. Is anyone from PCL? Okay. None of us are too big to be disrupted. All right? All right? It doesn't matter how big we are. None of them are too big to be disrupted. How many people know who Digital was? All right. There's very few in this organization. In the 90s, in the 80s and the 90s, they were the second largest computer company in the world. All right. They had probably more than 140,000 employees. And now I think it was maybe 3, maybe 4 people remember who they were. All right. So we want to make sure that we don't get disrupted. We want to make sure that our customers and our partners don't get disrupted. That's the reason we're doing this.